what I understand, the horizontal boring takes up a lot more than 40 acres. We own 39 acres. So if everybody around me signs, are they going to come back and say, well, we need 640 acres and you're holding out? Well, they will take me in on that. You're saying a 1 or 2 acre tract. I'm saying it takes a lot more acreage to do a horizontal bore. Will they force me to go in on it?
We don't know. The law does have a process, 1509.28, it's called unicization. It can allow, it says if a tract has 65% of the minerals rights leased, then there is a process to possibly unitize the rest of the tract. Quite frankly, it's been done twice in history. The last time was in 1998. It's been in our books, the law, since the law was put in place in 1965. I've never had one of those before, never worked through it. Quite frankly, I'm not familiar with all the mechanics. We have heard that your comment, your question in relation to the shale. So it's certainly out there at some level where people are talking about unicization. So what you're asking, it could happen. There's a lot of details, and again, it's not an overnight process. There's public hearings. There's a lot that it would have to be some sort of situation that they would have to demonstrate the viability and only case to do this. So it's in the law, so it's a possibility. We haven't dealt with it.
The last 20% they can force to go in on it, being whether it's 1,000 acres, 600 acres, or whatever. But now they're paying a signing bonus of $1,500 or $2,000 an acre. If they force me to go in on it at a later date, will they have to pay me the signing bonus, or do I just lose that money and they'll just pay me the mineral rights? You know, you guys are so vague on this law and you don't know what's going on. How are the property owners supposed to know what to do?
The one case that I was involved with in the 90s, which was in the northwest Ohio, right near Lima, a company unitized 1 square mile area. And they had approximately 72%, as I recall, of parties under lease, and they forced the remaining parties in. Those parties did not get a lease bonus, the acreage fee. They did get what they would have got. There was no production from the wells, but they would have got their landowner's royalty interest as if they had leased. And possibly there could be other mechanisms that would even increase that a little bit, depending on how the pooling order was put together. But that's the only case that in our current time frame that we've been involved with. And it's hard to speculate the future because we haven't seen enough yet to even begin to paint a picture of how the companies are going to go about it. But if you look across this room, of the hundreds of acres that folks own, that may own their mineral rights, if you go in any 1 square mile, 10 square mile area, there are going to be people that don't want to lease for whatever reason. That might create that situation.
Well, I just know that my neighbors around me are signing up with a lawyer to get, the most money they can, and we didn't. So we're 40 acres sitting in amongst 600 acres, and I got a neighbor next to me, so there's 70 acres there. And we're going to lose whatever the signing bonus is, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000 that I could get today by signing. But if I don't sign, and you guys say, oh, well, we're going to give them their property anyhow, I lose that money and will not be able to recoup it.
Well, what they'll have to demonstrate to us is they've made reasonable attempts to lease you. They can't just draw the line and come in the door and say, oh, we're not going to deal with you anymore. They're going to have to demonstrate to us that they've attempted to lease you up to the last moment.
They have been attempting to lease me for the last 2 months. They've left cards, they've called me, I get tired of answering the phone and talk to them. What is, what's an unreasonable response? I don't want to lease, sorry for your luck. They keep calling, so they're going to come to you and say, well, we tried, and you wouldn't do it, so I don't have no rights. That's what you're telling me.
Well, at some point you draw the line and say you don't want to lease, you don't want to lease.
Right.
That's your choice.
Right, but then they're going to come to you, and you guys are going to give them my property anyhow.
We're not going to do it in a vacuum. If they would come to us, you're going to be the first person that knows they come to us, and you're going to be involved in the process.
All right, that's what I want to know.
Thank you, Ron.